Welcome to Dental Unscripted. Where Mike Dinzio and Paula Quinn break down the practice ownership journey, one episode at a time. Starting up, buying, and running a successful dental practice.
What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dental Unscripted. My name is Mike Dinzio, and we got Paula Quinn, the co-host of the program. We're here kicking off another episode about marketing and Google Ads. And I'm not sure where the conversation is going to go. It's totally unscripted per usual, but we've got a fantastic guest today. We're excited to interview. I'm just going to get right into it because this is going to be a pretty rich conversation, and it's stuff that I think about all the time. It's stuff that our clients think about all the time, and so I think it makes sense to just get into it. So today we're interviewing Cisco, owner founder of Digital Rain. If you're watching on YouTube, he's the one that said this. By his grays and his beard, he's been around for a minute, so he is experienced. He's seen a lot of things over the years, and I'm excited to get into that big brain of his. So welcome to the show, Cisco. Tell us a little bit about your company and, you know, what you do and how you do it for dentists.
Well, thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. And I do also see a few grays in your beard as well. So right. Paula, you're good. We do specialize in Google Ads as well as the landing pages that accompany those, and have been working in Google, specifically working with Google Ads for about 16 or 17 years now, across several different verticals, legal and dental, because, you know, go big or go home. They're two very competitive vertical markets for Google Ads. They're expensive because the value that they bring is tremendous if done properly. And so, you know, that's our goal, is to drive positive ROI, you know, for our clients.
Totally. I love that, man. So one thing that I'm just kind of thinking, and I'll kick off the first question. Paula's probably rolling her eyes over there, folks, because she knows that I just jump into it. She's got her questions too, I promise, but we'll see if she can get words in today. I don't know if she will. But, you know, like, there's all kinds of ways to spend money in marketing, right? And then the digital frontier today of SEO and ChatGPT. I just heard today that you can actually advertise in ChatGPT, which is pretty cutting edge stuff, which I think kind of sucks, by the way, because the cool thing about ChatGPT is it's supposed to be unbiased and all that. And now they're freaking selling ads, of course. So if that was always the plan, shit, we just all fell right into it for them, right? But okay, so I'm thinking, like, people are big percentage of people are searching ChatGPT, and Google's kind of like, what the hell's going on? So is traditional marketing dead is my first question. And what I mean by that is, like, digital ads is part of that kind of old school marketing thinking. And so I want you to, like, pivot to that. Is it dead? But can you just be really easy? I'm going to throw a softball first and then roll into, is it dead? So what exactly is digital ads? What the hell am I talking about right now?
Right.
Just break it down for I'm not sure where our audience is. And then, is traditional marketing dead, like digital ads? Go for it.
Right. So yes, when we're talking today, we're talking specifically Google Ads, and we're even going to primarily talk about a subset of Google Ads, which are search ads. Search ads are pull marketing. And when I say pull marketing, what that means is they show to people who are actively out seeking that content. Somebody who's literally searched for the thing that's being put in front of them. Billboards are a push ad. TV commercials are a push ad. They're something that are interrupting what you're doing with a message, right? That's different. That's not something you asked for. It's something that is occurring and happening to you outside of your control.
So when I'm on Instagram and those ads pop up, that's a push ad.
Those are push, right? Because you're not seeking them out.
Paula knows what those are.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Uh,
and those have value. Those have value. Those have a lot of value. They just have different goals and they're different methodology and a different way of quantifying whether they're working or not.
Yeah.
Whereas pull ads are ads that show when you're seeking something related to that. So if you're searching for, the best dentist near me, just like your organic searches show up, those listings that show up at the top of Google or show up on the page, ads are similar to those. The Google ads are similar to those. And we control where they show up based on a number of factors. So that's kind of the quick breakdown of what we're talking about today.
Okay.
So excuse me. So is traditional marketing dead with this whole
Right.
AI content driven marketing push?
Well, I mean, there's a part of me that says it would be kind of great if fewer people did advertise with the way that we're talking about today, because Google's an auction. These ads are an auction. And so, if you're the person that's, trying to get a good deal at the auction, the best thing that can happen is nobody else shows up, and you're the only one there in front of all the people that are looking for stuff that you have. That's the best case scenario. So I kind of hope that it lowers the competition. Not seeing it now. There's still billions, hundreds of billions of searches, every day on Google. And certainly, at this point, it's not like no single advertiser can corner the market. So absolutely no, it's not dead. Do I hope the competition goes away a little bit? That'd be great.
So you're seeing some trends potentially, or you're not seeing trends
Not
that,
at this point.
yeah, but you're watching it. So essentially you're running ads. So how does it work? Right. So like one big pitfall that I get into with our clients is that, okay, I don't need a Cisco. I have a Google account.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I don't need a Cisco. I have a Google account.
I'll make my own ads.
And I'll make my own ads, and I can call Google. And folks, don't do this just because I'm telling you that this is possible. But you can literally call Google and they will help you set up an ad. And you're thinking that, oh, well, why wouldn't I hire Google to do this?
Right.
Because they know Google. They're going to know better than Cisco is probably what they're thinking.
Yeah. Why am I paying $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever that is, for them to manage this when I can?
Bingo.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, and that's a great point. So are you familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is basically the less you know about something, the more you think you're an expert in it, because you don't know the details, right?
Okay, wait, I gotta coin this, because what is it again?
It's Dunning-Kruger effect.
Dunning.
Right. So it was a paper. It was published in 98, I think, that the reason why sometimes people are like, I'll just go do it myself. It's because you don't realize how much you need to know in order to make it effective. Like it's that fallacy of logic in a sense. Google is a huge, huge victim of this effect, and its AI is a huge victim of this effect. And what I mean by that is, think of the Google AI that's making decisions about advertising as a salesperson. You're a dental practice, and you hire a salesperson, and you tell them, go to this convention, go and look in the crowd and find me as many good leads as you can find for my practice. And so this dental assistant goes out, or this salesperson goes out, and they go, okay, you over there, they look at the crowd and they say, okay, over here, do you people need a dentist? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, how much is it? And they go, we're looking for free dentists. And the salesperson goes, awesome, got all these people. Okay. But that salesperson never gets feedback from the dental practice. But they just got 20 patients. So now they're like, okay, next day they go back out to the same seminar. I know that the people that sat over there, they came in droves. And so it looks for the same kind of people. More free people? Awesome. Come on. And so this salesperson keeps bringing in all these leads, all these Medicaid leads, all these people looking for free stuff, all these people looking for their current existing dentist because they need to schedule an appointment. But it has no feedback from the dental office. So it just keeps getting as many cheap leads as it can because it knows that it's happening so easily. It's able to bring in hundreds of people and it thinks it's doing stellar. And that's exactly what Google does. It tracks what ads are generating phone calls. What it doesn't know is that 100 of those phone calls out of 105 were people calling to book an appointment for their kids, and they were looking for their dentist, not for you. It also doesn't know that the majority of those people were on Medicaid, which you don't accept, or that they saw an ad or heard somewhere a scam about free dental implants as part of a grant study, and so they put that in, and your ad when they clicked it. They don't know any of that. Google doesn't know any of that. Google is fantastic when it has information, when it has results, and that's exactly what Google gets from e-commerce. It tracks and knows that this ad generated, $20,000, and here's what it cost. What it doesn't know is when there's an error gap between somebody giving their information or calling versus a click, and it doesn't know that because there is no feasible way for most dental practices to have an integration between their booking system and what actually turns into a patient and Google's AI engine that makes decisions. Because if Google knew that 100 phone calls that it drove generated 0 business, it would change the algorithm. It would change what it's looking for, and it would try to find those people that spent $5,000, not spent 0 because they were turned down. So because Google doesn't have that information, it just guesses.
So what you're saying, Cisco, what I'm hearing you say is that you're the bridge between the way Google works and the way the client needs results.
Right.
It's like a consultant where, like, sure, Google could get you a lot of attention, but they aren't on the phone meeting with you, going through the results, tweaking it, asking you if you actually got that patient, how much production did that patient give you? Like,
the patients show up, were we able to even see them? What about, this might be premature. So Michael, you can, I don't know what's in your head right now, but
no, you don't want to know. You really don't want to know.
When I had my dental practice, I paid, a reputable company to do some Google ads. And I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it. How much are you spending? What is your call to action? But I hear this more than just from me. No one really called. Like I didn't get very many leads from it. What usually causes that? Or like, it's
right.
Both are not good. I mean, if it's people looking for free stuff or something, I guess that's bad. If they have a Medicaid or an HMO or something that you don't take, that's not good because you can't even see them. But sometimes a potential someone looking for something, and then you being able to have that time with them, you can sort of educate them and sway them in a different way. So at least that's maybe some opportunity. But what if you don't get any opportunity or very little?
Well, and let me, and you make a great point. Let me address that last thing you just said, because as much as that sounds great, I have yet to work with more than maybe 1% of practices that their frontline team is trained and able to do what you just said. Sure. I've only worked with a very few that when the phone rings and somebody asks for something that they don't do,
they're like, nope, we don't do it. Click.
Exactly. Or they're trying to book an appointment. Oh, I don't see you in our system. Oh, maybe I have the wrong number. Okay, sorry, thanks, bye.
Yeah. Isn't that so sad that any marketing you do comes down to who's picking it up?
Oh, it's absolutely that's 80% of it. I'm the other 20.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and in many cases it's like, please let's not even do anything. Don't even start. If your phone system isn't working the way it is now, it's certainly not going to work when we start sending you people who know nothing about you.
It's funny, we do talk about that, Cisco. Before Michael and I work with our clients on marketing, we usually say first we've got to get them the front,
right?
The ability to answer the phone, and no fault of theirs, right? They got they either learn from somebody else or they're new, and it's like they didn't go to school for patient
how to close, how to close,
Right.
it's a big miss in dental all the way around.
Totally.
But okay, sorry.
That's okay. No, and you're absolutely right about the number of phone calls, and that goes back to knowing, setting expectations. Like, I'm a business owner. I've been a business owner for a long time, so I know like how I look at things and how other business owners, I hope, look at things, but I don't necessarily think that they're always understanding that from, the conversations they're having either with Google or Google reps or people, helping to manage their campaigns. So the first thing you have to understand is you have to look at what's a reasonable return on investment in my business. Like, and once you have that number, then like that's your work backwards from that. And that gives you a reasonable expectation, because I can tell you this, if I could get you leads that made you $100,000 for only a few $1,000s, I would be doing it for me, not for you, right? Like, I'd be getting rich off of doing this, not managing it for other people. So there's no cheat code. Like, it's there. The way to do it is to do it correctly, but also to start with reasonable expectations. If you're going to make $30,000 off of doing dental implants, you're not going to spend $500 to get that patient.
Right.
What world is that? Like, what else? Like, that is not realistic, because why would you not go get a loan, sell your house, sell your car, do everything you could, take all that cash and go spend it on Google ads and make $1 million off of, whatever. So,
well, Cisco, though, like, we're talking, and I couldn't agree with you more, by the way, but we're talking about a lot of what our clients aren't doing right. And I couldn't agree more. They're not picking up the phone. They're not putting the right budgets in place. They're not spending enough money. But I do want to hear out of Cisco,
why
not all guys like you are created equal, I assume. Can we talk about some?
So
I'll give you permission to.
What is digital rain?
Like, why? Why is digital rain? Or maybe it's not digital rain. Maybe it's just, how do you know if you have someone that knows what the fuck they're doing? Sorry for my language.
So that's a good. Okay, yeah. And I'll go back, but I'll move quick. So yes, the first way to know if you have somebody that knows what they're doing is if they set reasonable expectations. If they come in and tell you that you need 30 patients, if you tell them you need 20 patients a month and they say, okay, let's start with a $3,000 budget, that is not realistic. It's never going to happen. Phone calls are going to cost between $50 to $150 each, and it's going to take probably 3 to 5 phone calls to get a patient. So you are looking at a minimum acquisition cost per patient of at least $200 to $300. So at best, on a $3,000 budget, at best, you might get 10 patients. 15 patients, maybe. And
which is by the way, the average that I see is about 10 to 15 from ad spend. But those budgets range,
right,
depending on complexity of the market and all that stuff, which you're probably going to get into.
And if you have $3,000 and it's $100 a phone call and you're advertising 20 days a week, 20 days a month, that's about 1.2 calls per day. Like, you're never going to be able to go in and be like, hey, do we get more calls today because of our Google ad? It's 1 call a day additional. Now, hopefully those calls turn into patients, so it's a great thing, but it's 1 call. Like, how would you ever be able to capture that, whether it feels busy or not? You could spend $100,000 and barely tell a difference in the actual number of phone calls you get. It's then the balance, it's on the back end that you experience the benefit. But yeah, so the first thing is just somebody who knows the reality is that, not every call is going to be good. Like I said, 1 in 3, 1 in 5, it really depends on the practice and what you're advertising. Like I said, implants is
something, and my brain just started spinning because I hear this number a lot. Someone's spending $500, they're getting like maybe 2 calls a month. Is that what you're saying?
maybe 5 calls a month.
Okay.
That's 100% right, Paula, because people just think that they can do 1 mail drop, $500 in Google ads. It's like, bro, that's not how this works. You got to flood the market, track it, which we're going to get to.
And back down if you can or not. Okay.
Because there's what we in the funnel from Google Ads to a case. We have a few different metrics. One is the top of the funnel, right? So let's say it's dental and it costs you $10 per click. Everybody who clicks your ad, you pay $10 for. That's pretty cheap. That's like for general dental.
It is $10 is cheap. Okay. So
cheap.
Every click, here's $10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And average, and we do better than average, fortunately, but average conversion rate, the number of people who click versus call, average probably about 5%.
5% call.
Click. Oh, call.
5% of the people who click actually call you.
So
do they accidentally hit it, or are they just checking it out?
These are people that actually click your ad, look at your page, and then call you.
Then they're like,
you said 5%.
5% is about average.
So
So
try to do math, and I was just doing fractions and percentages with Charlotte last night, and now here I am on a podcast, not able to roll it back. So how many
call Charlotte
clicks? How many $10 do I have to spend to get that call?
So usually I would say we usually do it. We're usually north of 10%, sometimes as high as 20%. So using that's a little bit easier math. So that would be 10 clicks would get you one phone call.
There you go.
$10 a click. That's $100.
Which is $100. Okay. And I always say a new patient acquisition cost is around $200. So that
he said 2 to 3 a minute.
But he's saying $100. I say 200, which gives you a buffer.
200 with him.
No. There's one more level.
That's a call.
That's a call. It takes 3 calls.
Oh,
two of those calls were junk. They lived outside the area. They can't afford it. They were hoping you were cheaper. They didn't show up.
Don't have your insurance, whatever.
Right. So, so things, it's like you have to go right. And this is the other thing too, is pay-per-click. It depending on the market you're in, because again, it's an auction competition, that drives up the cost per click. It's not the cheapest way. Like it is not the cheapest way to get leads. It is a way. It's a good way. It's not always the cheapest way.
I agree. But nobody knows what the cheapest way is until you try all the ways. And that's my whole thing. Mail, SEO, pay-per-click. Another marketing consultant that we know is all into Meta right now. Yep. Meta was dead a minute ago. Now he's telling me it's back. It's like, Jesus, this stuff's always changing. But to that point, you got to throw, my coin phrase, you got to throw 15 grand into the market in 3 months, see what works.
Yeah.
That might be light, but my poor startups don't have a lot of money. So 15 grand is like, what?
Yeah, it's huge dollars. And you're absolutely right. Like it's everything working together. Like, you look at big companies. I mean, there's a reason why they do everything. It's not because one of them, it's not because one of them doesn't work better than the other. There's a reason why, McDonald's is online, why it's in ads, why it's in radio, why it's in all. It's because all these things work together. So whenever I work with a client who has a strong brand in the market, let's say they've been, like in the legal space and, TV and more things, but when they have a strong brand, their cost per acquisition might be a third, might be a quarter of somebody who has no brand, because somebody will Google, they'll Google best dentist near me. And if it's a name that's been in the market for a while, when they land on the landing page or on whatever it is, they're like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. I'll give him a call. If it's somebody they've never heard of, then they're less likely to call. So your cost per acquisition goes way up.
Got it.
Does it matter? Because I heard this too, and this is back from when I did it. When someone does your website, they try to obviously have you do Google Ads. They said it's better if they do it than a different company because they know how your website is written, your keywords and different things.
Great question.
So they have like a better in on how to make the visibility greater in the marketplace. I guess.
Yeah, I don't recommend using your website at all for ads. Because the website is written.
There's an unscripted soundbite I'm liking. We're gonna have to put that one up on Insta. Okay, say that again, please.
Yeah, I do not recommend using your website for ads. Very rarely. Like if you're doing
The
e-commerce,
actual website or the website company?
the website, period.
Oh, okay. No, they didn't say that. They said they should do my Google ads because
they're managing the website. Is there an advantage of managing both?
So so try not to look at like step away from what it is. Like step away that it's ads and a website.
Okay.
And look at it more as you have, let's say, just say you have a regular ad. Let's say it's a newspaper ad, like old school. And now you have an ad, you have a storefront, and because that ad, somebody walked into your storefront. Now what they land on is the person that they meet at your store. You want that person to be awesome. You want that person to ask questions like, what do you need? How can I help you? What challenges are you having? What are you looking for? Why are you here? Like they need to understand what that person's looking for. And then they need to then be the solution to that problem.
Right.
And that's what a landing page needs to be. It does not, that's why I say don't use your website generally, is because a website is written to appeal to everyone. It's written for SEO to rank high in Google. It's created for a whole bunch of purposes different than the ad, the specific few lines of copy that were in, that were there because of what you searched for. So if you searched for, dentist near me,
a whitening special, you want to land on an internal page that says whitening special.
Exactly.
I hope our marketing guy is listening because I've been saying this for 3 months now. So maybe he'll listen to you instead of me. But that has like always been the number one rule. Don't take people to home pages.
Right.
Take them to what they need to hear because you just broadcasted what they were interested in.
It's called message matching, right? You want, look at the landing page as an extension of the ad. So whatever got them to click, you now need to deliver very specifically. And
otherwise there's confusion, right?
Right. Exactly. The way we do it, as an example is like, if you did like, let's say whitening, you land on a page that's like whitening specials, like you said, but then it also has another level even that says, basically, why are you here? Like, what are you looking for? I want to feel more confident. That might be one choice, whatever it may be. And there might be other choices based on that psychographic, that person that you need, but you want to give people an opportunity to choose. But all that copy needs to go to what they're looking for. You're trying to solve their problem. This is what gets them to go from a click, which we already established is expensive, to a phone call and get that conversion rate up.
Another soundbite. We are literally nailing sound bites right here. Here's
well, good.
So there is a psychology, and I always tell my clients, like when I went to marketing school, it wasn't about sexy ads and logos. It was about statistics and psychology. It was what gets people to actually do the shit we want them to do. And that literally feels like a psychology major and a mathematician scrambled into one. But that's literally it. The technology of a website is not what gets it to happen. So can we pivot then to call to action, because it feathers beautifully into what you're saying right now is, okay, we got someone to look at our ad and then we took them to an internal page that's talking about the ad, and now they're on your website. So how important is call to action on that internal page? Is it important? Is it not important? How aggressive? All that stuff.
Super important. I mean, ads are important. Landing pages are probably even more important where they land. Getting clicks is super easy. Getting the right clicks a little harder. Getting the people who clicked to do what you want them to do, which is contact you, super hard. And that's where the challenge comes into play. That's where all the money gets, left on the table, is when you don't do a good job of that. So that call to action.
Question of why a dentist shouldn't do it themselves.
Yeah.
Kind of this, because
it's
like you're throwing money to Google, but then like you get a click, but then where is that click leading? And then what is that saying when they get there? So you could just be throwing money out the window.
That's literally, you're just buying clicks, but it's just going into the toilet. Yeah.
If I'm getting you a patient for $300, I bet if you do it yourself, it's costing you over $1,000, easy, but way over. It's
no, of
unlikely
course,
that
based on this conversation, of course, it's going to be a 5x right there.
right. And you'll never know why.
What's that?
And they'll never know why. They'll never
know.
know like whether the people searching why. Why is it so much? Well, probably because dentistry is it has one unique nuance that I have not seen in any other market.
Okay, so call to action. Any fun tips there? We are getting. This is such a great episode. I love this episode. So call to action, Paula. Where's your head at?
Well, I think it leads. I want Cisco to answer this, but I think it leads right into, because what he said is you're clicking. What are you getting? I think this leads right into tracking, and I have like a multi-level tracking brain. When dentists say something's not working,
Right.
I go like 3 layers deep. But I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about on your end what that looks like as well.
Yeah, because those are similar. If you have a call to action, then you probably can track better, easier. Why don't you tell us a little bit? Because it's the same. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
Okay, so the first thing to understand is 80%, big number, are looking at your site, landing pages, ads on mobile. Very few on desktop. So that's really important. The ones that are looking at it on desktop are probably the other dentist across town checking out what you're doing. The real patients, the real prospects are on mobile. People on mobile generally.
Or maybe we're just old, Cisco. I like using my computer.
Wait, we've already identified that me and Cisco are old and you're not. So I don't know. We talk about this, not you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So 80% on mobile, and at least 50% don't want to fill out a form. They want to just call you. Right. So that's 1 out of 10 people, that's basically almost nobody is on desktop that's going to pick up or that's going to fill out a form. And that's the thing, is the call to action should usually be a phone call. That's what you want to drive people towards. Plus, do you really want to be chasing people? Like when leads come in, if they come in by forms or anything else, you end up chasing people. And if they book their own appointment, they don't show. We need to talk to people. And we want them to
what about a text? What about instead of, because some people just want to say text or call, but I'm thinking like I'm a dentist, or I'm thinking about like Next Level, and they click they're on an internal page, and then a banner pops up or whatever and says, why don't you just have a conversation with us? Text us to set up an appointment. Like text, call, whatever. It's just kind of like outbound is what you're saying. But then there's a lot of theories of like providing something, giving people something also, and kind of warming the person up. So is it better just to tell them what you want from them, or is it better to just like give them a resource? And this Gen Z kind of character, back to psychology. It's like, what do they want? Do they would want to be pushed, or they don't want to be pushed? Like, is there any tidbits on that?
Yeah, that's a great point. So the higher ticket items lend themselves more to that. So if you're talking, like all on X or something, then yes, there's a real potential there, that, somebody's not just going to click on your ad and call you and be like, yep, I'll be in for $40,000 worth of, implants. That nurturing all that totally makes sense in that scenario. If you're talking about, whitening or just general dentistry, no, there's, we just want that. We want that click. We want that information. Again, going back to cost per click, cost per lead, all that. Google is a super expensive way to build your marketing list. Don't do it. Like, unless you're doing implants, don't do it, because the numbers just won't shake out. Like, once you get down through the funnel and the revenue that's realized by it, it just won't make sense. It has to be super high ticket.
Okay.
Well, then that tees you right up to where Paula was going on. Okay, so how, and I know where she's at, because she takes so many calls from our clients about the front office and all of their pains and struggles and systems up front. I have the other side of it, is looking at ROI on the marketing spend, and Paula's trying to get the front office to actually track this stuff and ask questions.
Put in where did you get it?
Where did you just put something in that box?
I just got on someone the other day, and everything said friends and family. I'm like,
you have a lot of friends.
Aren't they a patient in the practice?
Right.
Well, yeah. I'm like, then put their name.
Yeah,
What,
exactly.
what if Paula referred 10 people this month? Don't we want to thank her? Don't we want to like acknowledge?
It's like this office has a lot of family.
Yeah. Like
But
it shouldn't even be comboed. There should be no family. It should just be the person's name.
but
You
but
know?
but Cisco, to that point, that like all of our clients put Google as a referral source, and it's
Right.
like that
Google
tells
Woo?
me apps. What did I just say?
Did you say Google Woo?
Google Woo is
Google.
yeah, Google,
Right.
like what it has on this was. That's the referral source. That tells me nothing.
Right.
I want to know, is it a whitening campaign? Is it this, that? But that's me. That's how I would do it. Now, if we could just get our clients to get away from Google and say, is it a Google search? Is
Right.
is it the paid clicks? Like, I hate when I see $3, $4, $5, $10,000 of spend, and I can't tell how many patients I got from SEO, from ChatGPT, from your stuff, the clicks, from the mailers, like,
Right.
sorry, I took it off. I mean, like all the Google stuff that all of you marketing people are doing, SEO, pay-per-click.
Yeah.
Like, how do I know who's responsible here?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate
Well,
that.
it was John Wanamaker. I don't know if he was the retailer in the early 19th century who said, I know half of my advertising is waste. I just don't know which half.
Exactly.
It's a famous, famous quote in the marketing
We
world.
need to look that up.
That's a brilliant quote. It's 100% true.
And so, and we already established that Google isn't looking for us for lead gen, is not looking at ROI. It's looking at, who called, regardless of the quality. And, obviously zero quality still counts for them. But you definitely need to be tracking all your phone calls. You need to have those trackable numbers. You need to know where they're coming from and which ads they're coming from. We use CallRail for everything. I can't imagine even beginning a campaign without having that in place to track it all. Because you'll just never know. Otherwise, you'll have no idea. So yeah, we track everything.
So, but like, Cisco, get into that just a little bit, because not all of our clients or not all the listeners are going to have Cisco. So how, or what should we be expecting from our guys like you to track this stuff? Because I hate the conversation. Oh, I got you 15,000 impressions. Okay, thanks. But how many patients? Like, how do you do that? Is there hacks there, or maybe you can't share your little tips and tricks? But it can't be it can't be that difficult to track the forms or the landing page activity, and like, what should they be doing for our folks?
Like, the good news is, and it's a great time to ask this question, because it's gotten so much easier with AI transcription. It used to be, a process. Like, I've listened, I can't, probably tens of thousands of calls, phone calls, intake calls. And you kind of had to, like, in order to understand, like, what is the actual value? What are the real people saying on the phone? What are the issues that we can raise to the clients? And like, you guys got to stop saying this. You're losing leads left and right because your people aren't answering the phones or whatever. But yeah, you've got to have that qualitative data, and the way to get that is, like I said, you just have to listen to it. Now you can review the call transcripts. So you can export those out of CallRail, and you can see exactly what the transcript of a call or all your calls has been. And you can see that they all came from Google Ads. So if you got that 20 calls for your, $3,000 or whatever it was, you should see what those 20 calls were.
So is that because you're using different phone numbers for your stuff?
Exactly.
So you know specifically how many people are calling my ad because of a different phone number. Okay. Right. Well, that's solid. Do you believe in offering something different in all of your marketing mix, so that, for example, I'm going to give you a Netflix $30 gift card on all of Cisco's stuff, but I'm going to give a $30 Amazon card for my print mail, and I'm going to get, like, do you believe in mixing up the promo so that when someone walks in, it's fail safe also? Is there any methodology there other than just the phone? Is there anything else other than CallRail that can help you track this? That's what my question is.
Right. That's a good question. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea when you're talking about promos. It's not something that we typically do in our Google ads, but it's
But the
definitely a good
promo
idea.
can also just be the call to action, like a $59 whitening, a free whitening.
Right.
Just making sure that when you're tracking,
Yeah.
do you do different when you do a separate promo? So like, let's say you run an ad for me and today we decide to do whitening. I don't know why we keep talking about whitening, but
I'll tell you why, because
no, I don't want to know why.
you want to know this. MVP Mail said their number one promo was stupid whitening out of 10 million mailers. So dumb. Just FYI. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't even know what I was going to say now.
Yes, you do. What were you going to say?
I don't. It had something to do with promos.
It was with the promos.
Well, promos matter though.
Promos.
Promo actually.
Well, I know what I was going to say. So if today we're doing a whitening promo, $59 whitening, and then next month we're doing 500 off aligners, do you put so that they don't just put Cisco, do you specifically tell them, okay, now we're switching ads, make your referral source something different? Because that's what I'm really big on, because I want to know what promo did best.
See, this is why Paula is a genius, because
I like that.
It's what
realistically we could go month to month and see, but if we forget what ad we did, we'd have to call you. We could.
So a great way. So first of all, this goes back to not using your website, right? Using landing pages. They're only visible to people that visited through your ads. So this is a great example too. I generally don't use promos in the Google ad. Like, I don't want you to call thinking you're getting stuff cheap. I want you to call because this is what you really want. Then I want to surprise you when you land on the landing page with a great offer for that.
But does that offer I guess what I'm saying is, okay, so your ad, you're doing one part of it. You're getting someone to call me or getting someone to go to my landing page.
Mm-hmm.
And now once they go to my landing page, they're going to reach out, hopefully.
So you get the call.
Tracking that, the actual
promo.
What promo made them call? I think in the practice management software, that has to change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it just to be, is Digital Rain working?
Right.
I want to know, how are they working best? Was it when I ran my whitening ad, or was it when I ran my 500 aligner ad? And it's hard enough to get the front. It's great that you can go back and look for me. But number one, as a dentist, I'm probably never calling. I'm only going to call you when it's not working. It's not working. I'm quitting. It's not working.
Right.
I'm just going to jump in and say that's next level. Like Cisco would agree. Number one, just tracking if Digital Rain's working is hell. I'll take that. But taking it to another level and tracking Digital Rain whitening, Digital Rain free toothbrush, whatever, like that's next level, because now you're tracking promotions.
And let me address that, because we do that part, but it may not be exactly what you're thinking, but I just want to address it. So we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I do want to go over this quickly, which is, we don't always know what message is going to resonate best. Even if it's whitening, let's talk about promotions. What we almost always do is split test the landing page. So one page may have one offer, the other page has a different offer.
Ooh.
Send 50% of the traffic to one, 50% to the other, and then see which one drives phone calls. Then when we find one that wins, we create another variation of it using, say, different language or a different photo or whatever it may be, and put those. And we usually do 50-50, but we can also split it out into multivariate and different versions. But we're always testing what drove those most conversions.
Cisco, you've been holding out the entire episode. That's some next level stuff right there. That's what I love. That's amazing. So your company should be thinking about exactly what he just said, and that is the difference maker of a Cisco and a Google consultant. Not only creating landing pages, but also testing which one's getting the higher conversions. That's it. That's the money maker. We don't have a lot of time, but Dan threw out, it's kind of a great segue. is great conversation. What do you think about having a hard sell, giveaway, free resources? It plays right into what we're talking about. And my opinion is you spend the money to get the recognition, to get the awareness. The promotion gets them to call. Like you can do, we talk about it with mail all the time. Just putting a mailer out saying, hey, I'm Sweet Tooth Dental Office nearby. Come see us. Okay, thanks for sending me a postcard that says welcome me. Or you could do, hey, I'm Sweet Tooth Dental, and I've got these 3 opportunities for you if you want to try us out. That's always going to do better than just, hey, I'm here. Do you agree? Promotions are strong. So you have to pay, you have to spend money on Cisco, you have to spend money on Google, the clicks, and then you got to spend money on promotions. And if you're not doing that part, I find that your results are less. Is that the same with your statistics too?
Yeah, definitely. When you do a promotion, almost always a stronger response. Like I said, I generally don't do it on the ad itself because I don't want to pay somebody to want to get something free. I want to get the highest quality click. And so dangling a low price, you may get people who are just clicking because they see a number that seems low or an opportunity or something that seems low, but then surprise them on the landing page. Because at that point, once they've clicked, you've already paid for it. Now you want to do everything you can.
No, nobody talks about the surprise on the landing page. Let's put an end cap with this conversation. Give me one solid example of what a surprise looks like. Like surprise, give us an example of what it would say in the ad, and then they land, and then that's the surprise. Give us an example, because I've never heard that before. I think it's genius.
Yeah. So in an ad, in this scenario, in an ad, I would lead with authority, lead with credentials. If you have a practice that's been around for 20 years and you've done, 10,000 crowns, whatever it is, lead with that authority. Then when they land on the page, that's when you hit them with, 999 crowns or whatever your offer is. That's when, now that you've paid for it, you do everything you can to get the lead. So
I see what you're doing there, because if you lead with authority, you're getting the right customer, because if you led with the promo, you're getting shitty customers.
That's
kind of that's the theory. But then when you land on it, okay, there's no shitty customers. That's not what I mean, Paul. Paul's about to yell at me. I'm making a point. Right. So you lead with authority to get the right calls, right clients that you're trying to attract. And then on the landing page, you offer a sweet deal that gets them to actually call. Is that the theory?
Exactly.
I love it.
You're doing everything you can to get the right people in the room. And then once they're in the room, you're selling them however you can.
Dude, Cisco, your name and reputation, what am I trying to say? Precedes you, my friend. That was a fantastic episode. I think it was knowledge based. I think it was rich. I think you provided a lot of value. I hope you get a lot of calls from this episode. I think you come highly recommended, and I think we're even working on some of our clients together. So thanks so much for giving us your time, investing your time and knowledge with us.
Always fun to talk about this stuff, and you guys have been great. Really appreciate it.
That's great. That's great. Well, folks, if you're getting something out of these episodes, please like, subscribe, all the things. Would love more reviews. It helps our program get more popular. And reach out to Next Level. Like, we don't give ourselves too many props, but Paul and I love what we do every day. We help lots of clients make better decisions. It's right on our website in the first page. We help doctors make great decisions, and we'd love to be part of your team. So reach out, do make that call. I don't have a $99 special, but we will take great care of you. So thanks so much for your time today and listening. And Cisco, thanks again. We'll talk soon.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening. Let us know how you like the show. Rate us on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe and follow for more.